Come on, baby.
Right now, we sitting here at the Upton Boxing Center where we always meet at. This our meeting ground since we was amateurs and whatnot, right? He's coming. We wait for our champ to get here so we can just go to Mondawmin Mall and see what's ready to unfold.
Y'all getting the last little bit of Gervonta that y'all gonna see. I'm gonna make sure I do what I'm supposed to so I can be the best I can.
2 sparring partners and rounds is unknown.
All right, y'all. Let's go.
When they watch us in here working, they saying we going bang, 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 bang.
There you go. Good. There you go.
When he get in that ring, he's on a mission. Because he understand that he got to put his pants on, training wheels going. You got what you asked for. Let's get it now.
Slow it down. Good word.
He ain't playing with nobody. You step in that ring with him.
Gervonta Tank Davis is back and fully focused with Coach Calvin Ford at his old training camp in Baltimore, where his career first began. He is sharpening every skill to take control of the division once again.
I call it three things. I look at Tank trying to find himself as the businessman, the fighter, and the family man. Nobody can give him a manual. He ain't come around that stable American way of life. So you can learn from it. You can see glimpses and pieces of different people's life. He tries to get into it, but he don't really understand it. So right now, he's just trying to find himself. I look at him and look at myself. And I had my journey too, and I see his journey. His journey is different.
Maybe the most powerful statement comes from someone who has known Tank the longest. Coach Barry Hunter pointed to a moment from years ago that showed everything about who Gervonta Davis really is. This is a fighter who was never made for comfort, and that hunger never disappears.
No.
After stepping away from the sport, Gervonta Tank Davis found something inside himself that refused to stay silent. And now back in the gym, that spark has turned into a full fire as he sets his sights on taking back everything that once belonged to him. 10-9-8-7 power, 6-5 power, 4 power, 3-2-1 more. Straight to why this fight keeps getting pushed back. Shakur does not hold back and says he really wants the Tank fight, but calls Tank's whole behavior silly in a way that says everything about where the real issue lies. For Shakur, this is not about contracts or TV deals. Tank is just not being serious enough, and the fans can see it too.
But if same thing that I said,
fighting perspective.
Same thing that I said with T.O. If anybody got issues with me or feel some type of way about me, you could come see me on fight night and resolve every issue that you got. Yeah. I stand by that with anybody.
But keeping it boxing.
That's boxing.
No, I'm just saying.
That's not boxing?
Yeah, no, I love it. No, you got to do what you got to do.
Right,
I just want to see. I want to know. I'm just asking, realistically, will we ever see y'all two in the ring? However way it get there, will we ever see that match?
He admitted that back in the day, the vibe between him, Tank, and the other young fighters coming up was actually good at times. But everyone in that circle knew it was never going to stay that way forever. Not when you are all chasing the same thing at the very top.
I'm the one.
Mm-hmm.
I always knew. And I feel like deep down, they probably won't say it, but they know. They know. It was cool at certain times, but deep down, everybody know as a competitor, it's only so cool it can get.
Cause we gonna have to face each other.
So,
copy.
Truthfully, it was cool at times, but
yeah.
Sean Porter has been in the ring with the best fighters and knows exactly what elite level looks like. And when he breaks down Tank versus Shakur, he makes it clear that this fight is a completely different challenge than anything Tank has faced before. Porter sees it as a high-level chess match where Shakur's defensive skill forces Tank to either grow as a fighter or get outboxed. He warns that the knockout style Davis has relied on his whole career simply will not work against a technician of Stevenson's quality.
Everybody thinks that Tank is gonna go in there and just knock out Shakur. It's gonna
That's not gonna happen.
But It shouldn't have taken this fight.
I knew he couldn't.
For people to realize that. Right.
I knew that too. But yeah,
Shakur is a defensive specialist.
And I've been saying this for a long time. If you pay attention to how Tank would react whenever Shakur's name came up, I was like, yo, it's something that Tank knows that most people don't know or understand. There's something that he sees in Shakur. It could be the fact that Shakur was a 2016 silver medalist. You know,
he might got a lot to do with it.
He's that.
Sean Porter also said that the best fighters are not just the hardest hitters. They are the ones who can adjust when their first plan stops working. He talked about how elite boxers build and improve their skills over time, learning to change their approach in the middle of a fight when the knockout is not coming and their usual method is not working.
This boxing style that you don't usually get from Tank. You're gonna see IQ. We saw IQ, but to me, it was low IQ because the reason why it was low IQ is because everybody followed the script. And what I mean by that is, you see somebody's IQ take place when a fighter makes an adjustment, and now you have to adjust to what that fighter is doing, and that's kind of where you see
who's smart.
You know what I mean?
Who get hold up.
I think my fight with Terrence shows a very high level of IQ from both of us. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's what Tank is gonna do with.
Adding another boxing expert, Roy Jones Jr. breaks down the Tank versus Shakur matchup, and his conclusion is as clear as it gets, pointing to one thing above everything else that gives Stevenson the advantage: discipline. In his eyes, Shakur's steady focus inside and outside the ring is on a completely different level, separating him from a fighter like Davis, whose personal troubles have repeatedly raised real questions about his reliability when the lights are brightest and the stakes are highest.
Shakur wins it because of his discipline, because he showed against Tim Pimmer that he stayed very disciplined all night. And he's the type of guy, he don't really do a lot of crazy stuff in his life normally. So it's like discipline is a thing that is not only exercised inside the ring, it's exercised also outside the ring. And as we see, sometimes Gervonta has problems with this, but we have never seen Shakur have problems with discipline. We've seen him be more disciplined at the right time.
But Jones is not done. And what comes next is where his breakdown gets really interesting. He makes it absolutely clear that a locked and fully motivated Tank Davis is a real problem for anyone who steps into the ring with him, no matter how good their game plan looks on paper. The fight intelligence, the timing, the one-punch power, and the natural instincts that Davis brings into every fight are not things that simply vanish because of outside noise.
Because of his discipline, but don't get it twisted. If somebody could be Tank Davis, would be that person because of his intangibles. But Tank is disciplined and got his mind on right. Tank is a problem for anybody. Tank can fight better than most people think he can. It's that sometimes his outside antics get the better of him, and it makes people think less of him, but don't underestimate Tank Davis. If Tank is motivated and ready to fight, Tank
can fight better than most people think he can. It is just that sometimes his behavior outside the ring gets the best of him and makes people think less of him. But do not underestimate Tank Davis. If Tank is motivated and ready to fight, Tank is a problem for anyone. And if Roy Jones Jr.'s opinion was not enough, Terrence Crawford steps in and raises the stakes even more. He points to Shakur's elite defensive skills as something Tank Davis has simply never faced before in his career. Crawford also reminds everyone that a three-time world champion does not walk into any fight without serious credentials behind him. The importance of this matchup, Crawford argues, is impossible to ignore from the moment both men step into that ring.
Different fighter. You know, Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they said the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive fighters.
Yeah.
Tank is not going to be able to hit Shakur like he hit everybody else. And he know that. He knows that. That's why he's like, he's boring, he's this, he's that. He's trying to diminish everything.
What really makes Crawford's opinion stand out is the honesty and balance he brings with it. He makes no secret of the fact that he and Tank have never seen eye to eye. Yet he refuses to let that personal history cloud what his experienced eyes can clearly see. He gives Davis full credit for the intelligence, power, and sharp instincts that make him dangerous at any level, but draws a clear line between respect and certainty.
Training Tank in the ring and his skills and his power and his attribute and he's smart.
Yeah.
He's definitely smart. He can box off. And I'm not saying I would pick Shakur just because our differences. I'm telling you as a fighter.
Yeah.
I will pick Shakur because I don't believe Tank will be able to land those big shots on Shakur like he does everybody else.
Right.
Shakur defense is.
And just like that, the cold reality of the business side cuts straight through all the excitement. Coach Kenny Ellis makes it clear that despite the huge amount of money being offered Lomachenko fighting Tank Davis, may be the last fight he ever chooses to take. Not because of pride, but because of the very real risk of ending his career by getting knocked out cold.
Like, finally gets to the Gervonta deal. He's like, so you don't think he would fight Gervonta? Kenny Ellis says, nah, man, I don't think he would. I think that's be the last guy he wants to fight. He said, yeah, it's the biggest money. It'll be the biggest money for him for sure. But does he want to go out on his career getting knocked out like that against Gervonta? I think he'll be the last one that he chooses to try to fight, man. Now, the sad thing is, man, the sad thing about that is that it is probably true. It's probably true. There's a culture in boxing, man, where these guys are out there giving breaks to people, out there giving them money to try to make sure that they don't.
And just like that, Fennon drops the mic on a point that hits harder than any punch thrown in this debate. He cannot hide his real frustration. Tank Davis will keep winning, keep making big money, and keep entertaining the fans, but may never get the Terence Crawford treatment of being raised to a whole different level of stardom. For Fennon, Tank's future is not in question. It is the ceiling above it that no one wants to talk about.
We want to happen in the sport of boxing, so we are going to shut it down. And listening to Kenny Ellis, it's like you can hear it and you can see it in his voice. It's like he's not going to get his hopes up that Gervonta's going to get that. Gervonta's going to have to continue to grind, beat the people that he's able to fight for the big money that he gets for fighting them, satisfy his fan base, but never at a point in time is he ever going to get the opportunities like that a Terence Crawford got. When Terence Crawford signed with CAA, and all of a sudden, he's running off and getting put in Rocky films and stuff like that.
But beyond the comeback itself, Boxing Geo shares a detail that no one should ignore. He reveals a behind-the-scenes development that could completely change the landscape of the lightweight division overnight.
He's coming out of retirement and trying to make another run in boxing, right? And we're going to talk about that. Vasyl Lomachenko is coming out of retirement and targeting a return this fall. Sources tell Ring Magazine. Lomachenko. Now, this is the part that you must pay attention to. Yes, you at home. We working. Peep this. Lomachenko's contract with Top Rank expired yesterday when the news came out. And Loma is now a free promoter.
All right, everyone. Stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Glove Lard and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.